cycle that our solar system undergoes in a period of 25,620 years or so, as our solar system revolves around its parent sun known as Alcyon. So you guys are all familiar with the zodiac, right? The 12 houses, and how we're ending the age of Pisces and the age of we're going into the age of Aquarius. Well, that's a 2,160-year cycle, right? Well, what if I tell you that there are like 5 world ages, which is comprised of 2 of those, and then there's a total of 5,000 something year cycles that comprise the 26,000-year cycle. And that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about a revolution where every time our solar system goes into this high frequency band of energy field that stems from the galactic core, like a duff nut, right, on top, and then it goes back down, everything changes. Everything, matter as we know it, transforms. So every time there is evidence that every time our solar system enters this photon field, there is some sort of a genetic mutation, some sort of a transformation of species, where all of a sudden we end the age of darkness and we go into the age of light, love, and freedom. And a lot of that has to do with the activation of our dormant DNA. It also has to do with us going from a limited state of consciousness, which is something that we've all been under for the last few thousand years due to the programming of the negative Anunnaki, right? When they reduced us as slaves in order to mine the gold. We could thank the Enki faction for that. We're going to go from that into a full consciousness where we're going to be using 10 strands of DNA. We're going to go from 4 or 6% of our full genetic material as well as our full mental capacity to using the full deck. And when that happens, all of a sudden, like, our mind just opens up to all these other realities and all these different dimensions. Now, the next question would probably be, well, where are all these different realities and dimensions? Well, according to quantum science, they're all around us, guys. They're not a place or a location. It's not like we're going somewhere. We're in like, okay, I want you guys to consider existence like the Russian roulette dolls. Okay, that's how the dimensions exist. We just happen to have access and perception only of the lowest dimension, which is the 3rd dimension. But all the other dimensions, the astral, the 4th dimension, the 5th level of reality, some people call them densities, dimensions. It's all the same thing, we exist within all of them. And the more genetic material we use, the more brain power we use, we begin to access these other dimensions, guys. So that's what's going to be happening as we enter this photon belt. And the event that is going to trigger that is the solar flash. So every ancient culture talked about it. The ancient people from India called it the Sambarika fire. The ancient people of Zoroastrianism, which Judeo-Christianity draws from, they call it Frasco Careti. The Latter-day Saint Church, the Mormons, they call it the burning fire or the burning flame that destroys all the wicked and exalts the righteous. So every tradition talked about this time, this great event that would be unfolding, in the times that we are now living in. Now, in addition to that, there's also another phenomenon that is occurring right now. As you guys know, we are mutating with the stellar and this has been proven scientifically. The changes are not only being detectable here on planet Earth, but we are also witnessing these anomalies throughout the entire solar system. Like, something is happening. So everything's going through a transmutation of some kind. So it's not just happening to the species of the Earth, it's happening to the species of the other planets within our solar system. So you could say that our entire solar system is going through this dramatic change that, within a split second of an eye, we're going to be switched on to from this phase of evolution into the next phase of evolution. Now, there are going to be different upgrades depending on your level of vibration. The younger souls are going to go up in increments, but yet they're still going to be using more potential, more genetic material. They're still going to overcome death. No more illnesses, no more, ill health. Everyone's going to live, for a few hundred years and looking 30 or 40 without aging. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. That every soul is going to be exalted, or it's going to be upgraded. And then, of course, there's going to be another group of people who are going to be using a little bit more potential than those. And those are the people that are going to be like the wizards, the shamans. They're going to be able to communicate with the spirits, and do these magical things, right? Because they're going to be connecting with the consciousness field of the living elements. And then beyond that, you're going to have the people that are going to be like the X-Men. Okay? These are the people that are going to be called Homo Galactus, or Homo Superior. There's already a name for them in the community of scientists. Yeah, the people that are going to have these amazing godlike superhuman abilities are going to be, how can I say, the starseed nations. The people that are star seeds, that are advanced souls, are going to be upgraded to that level of power. And then also, there's going to be a few smaller number of individuals who are actually going to be using the full deck, the full genetic material, their full power. And those are going to be like the gods and goddesses of ancient times, but 100 times more powerful. They're going to be able to control time, space, matter, reality, manipulate anything they want, just with the power of their thoughts. And then at the same time, they're going to have every ability. So those are things that are waiting for us to explore once that dormant DNA becomes activated, guys. And as a reminder, there is a reason why we're only using 4%. Because if we were to even use 10%, guys, we would be the most powerful species in the universe. And every alien out there, I don't want to say alien, every other dimensional out there knows that. You know, and that's why we are the most coveted race in the multiverse. Because above all, we also have a type of genetic strand that not anybody inherited, but we did. It's called the God source code. And that is the strand that is going to allow us to reach the 13th dimension while maintaining physical form. In other words, we're the only species in all of existence that was designed to become or to reach levels of realities that are infinite, that are that has to do with infinity, eternity, while maintaining physical form. You know, this has never happened before in the history of the cosmos. Normally, when beings ascend to that level of reality, they have to let go of their body because of the fact that the frequencies at that level of reality are so high that makes it impossible for them to encase in physical form. But because we do have the God source gene, we're going to be able to maintain physical form as we enter the realms of eternity. So that's the great news, is that everyone's going to be exalted except the wicked. The wicked are going to be eliminated. According to all the prophecies, guys, coming from every world religion, from the secret knowledge, from the esoteric tradition, it has been written that the solar flash is an imminent event that was going to take place at the end of the cycle, which corresponds to the beginning of the 21st century, which is any time now, any day. Now, to give you guys an exact date, I don't know, and he or she who claims who knows doesn't know. But the time frame is, I would say between now and 2024. I'm going to stick to my original vision. Yay! All right, guys? All right, let's open it up for questions and answers.
The solar flash, I think you had said, is us?
Yes, it's a two-way process. So it starts with a few of us, right? Because the whole purpose of the solar flash, guys, is to what? To connect, not only that, but to integrate the polarity duality within us. Because everything that is out there is also within. So when we do that, we automatically collapse the polarity duality without. So when we do that, it's like our 7 chakras, right? As revealed in the book of Revelation, 7 seals, they're going to activate. When they activate, from the 7, right, because they all represent a certain level of consciousness, energetic field, they're going to collapse into one singular light. And when that happens, you're going to be opening up to every version of yourself. You're going to have access to your past lives, who you were, who you are in other realities, in other parallel universes, and it's all going to come to you. All the memories are going to rush.
Do you think that the gods and goddesses, at least some of them, are already in existence here?
Absolutely. They're walking among us. Yeah, they're part of the concept of the 144,000. 144,000 are the ones that are going to be reaching levels of power where they're actually going to be like X-Men, superhuman light. Yeah. And every culture talks about the 144,000. In the East, they're called the Kalki avatars, and of course, they say that the person that's going to lead that is the Kalki avatar himself. In the East, they call him the Maitreya, the Kalki avatar Maitreya Buddha, as well as the 9th incarnation of Vishnu. But they all know them under different names, of course. In Christianity, they call him the Christ, right? It's the same thing.
Yes. In the book, it says that Angel was afraid of the powers, like giving that power to everybody. And what you're saying is that when the solar flash happens, we're going to have some of us more powers than others. How do you control that? How is the planning of everybody having those powers? And
well, first of all, before we volunteered to come here as a human being, we've already had those abilities. Because that's what I'm saying. The oldest of souls are going to be able to handle all that power because they're already going to have the spiritual maturity, the remembering. Yes, and they're going to also know how to use those powers. And but this is the difference between them and the younger souls is that the younger souls have to go up in increments because they still need to learn how to use these abilities. And a lot of it has to do with how to control your thoughts and emotions, guys. That's the only way to use these abilities. Because if you're unable to control your thoughts and your emotions, it's going to be impossible for you to control the the electronic force that is going to be flowing through your body when you do activate the dormant DNA. Because you're literally going to be like a like a power, like a battery. You're going to be able to harness electricity. You know, you could emanate it. You know, shoot lightning through your hands. So you have to learn how to control your emotions in order to learn how to harness that power. Exactly. Any other questions?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. You know how there's like this information out there, and you say that Anki is the bad guy and Unreal is the good guy, and I'm hearing it the opposite way from some people. What do you have to say to that?
Well, okay, so first of all, the Sumerian tablets, okay, all the information we're getting about the Enki-Enlil conflict comes from the Sumerian tablets, guys. The first thing Marduk, the son of Enki, did was completely revised, just like how the founders of the Catholic Church changed everything in the Bible, right? They only included a few books and left out like 90% of the books, and then within those books they kind of modified them. Well, they did the same thing with the ancient Sumerian tablets. So what they did is they inverted it. Enlil was the guardian of the earth. He was protector of the earth. He was for the human race, but he was for the proper evolution of the human race, not the hybridization of the human race, not the tampering of the Adamic lineage. As Enki was all about that, he was mixing. Yeah, he was a master geneticist. Enlil was he was more into like the natural or organic way, the magical way of doing things. He was not for technology. He was more about fusing his consciousness, because all this inner technology, which I call the multidimensional higher consciousness way of doing things without the external technology, originated in Lyra. So because Zeus is a descendant of Sirius Lyra, he was still very connected with his multidimensionality, with his galactic avatar, and that's why he was able to generate the electricity and emanate it, because he was more about the natural magic. Whereas Enki was more, because Enki was half Draconian, and the Dracos have always been about external technology because they lost their connection to God source, right? So they couldn't use the magical Jedi arts anymore, so they had to resort to external technology. And that's why Enki was a master geneticist, a metallurgist. I mean, that guy was, he was like building an AI system back then, guys. If you guys want to, the original history of Atlantis, the reason Atlantis fell is because of the fact that Enki's faction wanted to implement AI during the times of Atlantis. Transhumanism, it's nothing new. This is something that's been going on for millions of years in our universe. And so that's why, they flipped everything around. They made Enlil look like the bad guy and Enki look like the good guy. But also remember that Enki was the reason why they took the angelic human race that existed then, test their DNA, to downgrade them by what? By mixing them with primitive genes. And that's how they were able to bring down their consciousness. And they shut like 90% of their brain, only allowing them to use less than 10% so that they could be controllable. And that's how the slave race was created. And that's the reason that since then, it's in a way that slave system, or that program of slavery has been ongoing through the descendants of his son Marduk, which is Babylon, Belial, the Cabal families. But their time is up, of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it possible? Sorry.
You're next. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought it was over there. Is it possible for somebody like one of us to communicate with these? What's it called? They call themselves the architects of the universe.
Absolutely, the founders, the Patals,
And
the
can
centric,
they sort of kind of say, like, okay, so it's me. It's very visual. So they're asking me like, okay, you can come in here and you can do, create good things for the planet, right? And then it was okay for me to go in there and put all these visions out there, like good things for us, right? As all the human.
Yes,
the
actually,
planet.
the founders, the architects of all universes are that is like when Prime Creator Source first broke off into 7 and then 12. Those are archetypes. They're living intelligences at a very high level of reality, and in a way we are extensions of that. So by going within, we are able to actually communicate with.
So there's more than one group of architects. They told me there was many other architects.
Well, the way it works is you have the original architect is Prime Creator. Then Prime Creator divides into 7, so that gives us the 7 mighty Elohim. And then the 7 each give birth to the 12. The 12 archangels, whatever you want to call them. And then the 12 give birth to 144,000. So that's how it's all connected.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we are connected through that lineage. We come from 144,000.
So we can all go out there and create with the architects.
Absolutely.
They like it.
Yes. Because
They like it.
they're waiting for us to reconnect with them. Because the fact that they are actually, in a way, different aspects and versions of ourselves. We all participated in the creation of universes. We just don't have that memory. We don't have that memory, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, he was next, and then I'll let you go next.
Okay.
like for instance, John Lennon, you see all these people that were supposedly on the flight log, and you see them, like the Pence with Fort Myers on the beach yesterday. Why are we still seeing these people? I mean,
like cabal people, those are all computer-generated clones. They are equivalent to what we see in the movie Matrix. They are all Agent Smiths at this point. Yeah, the real ones were taken out by the Alliance 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago. So what we're seeing is just it's all run by AI. Because remember, we're still dealing with the AI system that is in each and every single one of your phones and all your laptops. It's running through all the technology. We still have to deal with Google. Google is already sentient, and Google had become sentient as of 2018. So you can say that Google is the new cabal. But again, the solar flash is what's gonna
take them all out.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be like an EMP to the AI system. It's just gonna nuke it out, because without the current electromagnetic field, the AI couldn't operate. So that's one of the things that the solar flash is going to do. It's going to flip the poles, not crustal replacement or displacement, but it's going to be in a way where it's going to be like a reboot with a new electromagnetic field, and so the AI won't be able to connect with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, since you mentioned the Elohim, I just wanted to share with the people who are here today, if you want to find out more about the Elohim, look up Ascension One Collective. Seal talks out, he channels the Elohim. The love of creation is what he channels, Emmanuel. So I'm an ambassador for that collective. And I think that was, I think that was about your understanding and wisdom. Yeah. Because it takes work. I mean, like my second question is, it happens intuitively, but you also have to work at receiving that energy and knowing how to receive it and all that in order to transform and transmute. So it takes meditating and quiet.
And that's called doing the work.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't just expect for it to fall from heaven.
Exactly.
You have to meet it halfway.
Exactly.
Yeah, very important. Thank you for sharing.
That's why it's very important that you try to find yourself. Look within to find out what is your essence, what is your purpose, what is your mission. Why did you come here to this earth? What is it that you came here to do? So it's very important that I know that everybody here is seeking for truth, for your truth. But your truth begins inside of you first.
Absolutely.
As soon as you find yourself first within yourself, then everything will come and flow. Like everything will flow. You will start living in the nirvana.
Yep.
You will start living and learning how to live in the presence. And then everything just will come to you like magic, like miracles. But first, my recommendation to you, with all due respect to you, and I'm saying this with a lot of humility to each and every one of you, find yourself first. Yes, seek, look. But everything that he's saying is 157% correct. But everything starts within you. Find your essence, find your purpose, find your mission, find your talent. Ask questions. Why am I here? Why did I come here to do? Because each and every one of you has fingerprints. But in order to find your fingerprint, you have to go through thousands and thousands of people to find your fingerprint. And if you find one person that has your fingerprint, it will not be identical. It will be similar, but not the same. Because each and every one of you here present came here to accomplish and to finish a mission. And then when you depart from this world, you will leave this world better than how you found it. Therefore, find this book, his book, my book. My book is bestseller, and it's called Yo no soy la que creía ser, yo soy más que mis pensamientos limitados. I am not who I thought that I was. I am more than my unlimited beliefs. When you start finding yourself and you know that you are not this body, then everything starts. You start living. You start making miracles. Miracles will come to you, and you start doing miracles without you knowing, because everything will just come. Everything will just come. I thought that I was not supposed to be here. But I don't believe in coincidence. Yo creo en las diosidencias. Yo creo en las diosidencias, porque las diosidencias God, the word impossible is not impossible. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. But guys, my only thing is find yourself first within you. Do something that is called introspection.
Yeah.
When you do the introspection, you find you. You find you. Yo soy una chispa divina. Porque yo ya me encontré. I am una chispa divina. No, I don't know how to
She said, I am a
translate.
spark of light, and I have found myself.
Because my mission started when I was 40 years old. And I started asking questions. Who am I? Why did I come here to do? What is my purpose? What is my mission? What is my talent? What is it that I'm supposed to do? So that when I leave this earth, this third planet, it will be better than how I found it. Because I already accomplished my mission. And if I have to come back, I will have to decide if I want to come back or not. I will decide if I want to come back or not. I will decide. I will decide.
I don't think anybody knew that they were going to be here today till last night. I saw you. Yeah, so we were all meant to come to be here together.
When I first announced I was coming, it was 3 days ago. I was wearing a flannel, and then the second time was yesterday.
Right.
As a reminder, yeah. So I put two videos out there.
Oh yes, I saw that.
So, do we have any more questions? Thank you, sister. That was good. 157%.
I don't believe in 100. I believe in 157.
Thank you, sister. Any more questions?
Can you talk a little bit about the Pleiades?
About the Pleiades? Okay, yeah. Well, okay, so every extraterrestrial comes from an alternative timeline. There are different versions of the current human being. So we could say that Pleiadians or human-like extraterrestrials are us in the future. Arcturians and Andromedans are future versions of ourselves. Breakaway groups that have left, traveled, they traveled back in time to come back. And then also in like manner, we could say that the Greys and the Zetas, those ugly-looking creatures, they are degenerative versions of human beings that decided to take the transhumanist path. And that's an example of what happens when we begin to merge with technology, guys. It's very dangerous. Not only do you lose your soul, but it also morphs your physique and your body into this ugly-looking creature with big buggedy eyes, big long arms, kind of like we see in those Hollywood movies. You do not want to end up looking like a Grey or a Zeta. I think I like my human form better, but yeah. So the Pleiadians are actually future versions of humans on Earth. So when people are contacted or communicating with the Pleiadians, they're actually communicating with future versions of humanity that are coming back in order to help correct the timeline.
They're positive.
Yeah. Well,
Where's the Greys?
The Pleiadians are positive, but don't get me wrong. There's polarity in everything. There are a few Pleiadians that decided to join the Luciferian Rebellion during times of Atlantis. Those Pleiadians, as well as the Alpha Centaurians and a few galactic Orions, were seduced by Marduk when he took over Atlantis. So we still have a few Pleiadians that joined the Galactic Empire. They're not part of the councils or the Galactic Alliance. They left it in order to be part of the...
It's a choice, they can go back?
They could if they want, but right now they're under a spell of some kind. Yeah.
You said that they've infiltrated the Galactic Federation,
No,
right?
Enki did. Enki infiltrated it, yeah. Yeah, but the factors are going to be dealt with, and in those that didn't buy Enki's bait, that weren't compromised by Enki, were able to reorganize as the Galactic Alliance. So now we're dealing with the Galactic Alliance, the Galactic Command, and at the head of the Galactic Command is now the Jupiter Command, which is representing our solar system. Yeah, so those are. It's not the Ashtar anymore. The Ashtar was infiltrated, but it's the Jupiter Command.
Okay.
Yes.
You say that when we ascend, we're going to stay here. It's not like we're going to go anywhere. But there's life in other planets.
Absolutely. Right. There's even life in the planets here within our solar system. Life exists from the fifth dimension all the way to the eighth.
And we'll be able to visit that once we ascend.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're already interacting with us, but the reason we don't see them is because they're in another dimension. So we have people from Venus, we have people from Jupiter, Saturn, we have people from Mars, and they're walking among us, but they are fourth and fifth dimensional now. That's why we don't see them. Okay.
We'll see them after the solar flash?
Yeah, once the solar flash takes place, the veil will be lifted, we go multidimensional, and that's when we're going to realize that the galactic Star Trek futuristic Earth has always been here. It's just in a different dimension.
Is that why we like Star Trek so much?
I'm sorry?
Is that why we like Star Trek so much?
Well, you know, Gene Gutberry was actually channeling the Galactic Federation back in the 60s.
I believe it.
Yeah. That's where you get all his concepts.
Could you please talk about the splitting of the Earth a little, like how it's going to happen, what to expect? Is it like our houses, are we go with them, or is kind of we're going in some futuristic cities or whatever?
Okay, put it this way, it's not at a physical split, it's more of an energetic frequency split, or a split of vibrational frequencies. So what's happening is that the 5D Earth is already here. Yeah, it's just coexisting in the 5th dimension. It's called Planet Terra, where it occupies dimensions 4 through 6. The negative timeline Earth that is being created by AI is created through CERN, through the Sentient World Simulator, through the Internet of Things, where they're pretty much, and of course through the metaverse and through transhumanism, they're trying to, you know, take some of the souls into that agenda, where they are all going to be connected to the board. They're going to lose their individuality, and of course they're going to be part of a, you know, what is it called, a futuristic, technocratic dystopia of some kind, where the AI controls everything in a one world government. But that timeline is already existing. It's already going to split from the 5th dimensional timeline. So the split is where they both bifurcate. So right now they're coexisting. Right now we're living with people that are, you know, people that are part of the transhumanist agenda, right? You know, we see them in politics, we see them as the leaders of the big tech companies, and they're still here. But it's going to come a time where there's going to be a split depending on your vibration. When the solar flash takes place, those that are ascending in the organic timeline are going to all of a sudden end up on Terra Earth, where the AI system no longer exists, where there is no, you know, the Internet of Things, you know, 5G, none of that. It's eliminated. You know, and then those that are not ascending, unfortunately, are going to go into that negative timeline. But at the end of 1,000 years, merge back together as one. And that's what the final flash is.
Will they have a chance, like in the future, to go to the Terra? Like
absolutely,
if
but at the end of the millennium,
vibration or something.
No, because see, the goal is to save every soul. Even the souls that go into the transhumanist agenda, they still go somewhere. It's just that what they do is they disconnect you from your soul so that the nanites, the nanoparticulates that they're injecting people with, could take over your body and do, you know, work for the, where they absolutely take over your mind and you become kind of like a soldier, a drone soldier for the Borg. Does that make sense? But at the end of the millennium, when the last battle takes place between the angelic, human galactics, you know, whatever, gods or organic, those that ascended organically, right, and the cyborgs or the AI, that's going to also release those souls that went into the AI timeline. Because we do win that war. It's already taking place. If you remember, the future and the past are all coexisting simultaneously. It's just that from the 3rd dimension, we do see things linear. But it's all happening at the same time.
So will we have clone version of us with the people who don't go ahead?
Clone versions?
Yeah, like for instance, the ones that don't ascend, you said they're going to end up repeating.
Oh no, you're just going to disappear to them, and that's what the religious texts call the rapture. Yeah.
Say about the tall whites.
The tall whites.
Yeah.
Those are actually, they've been working with the government, you know, I think over 900 species now. But the tall whites are actually, there's a big chunk of them that are benevolent, and then there's a small percentage of them that are working with the Zetas. So we gotta, you know, be careful who you channel. Yeah. You have to, you know, learn how to discern when you're bringing in energies from other dimensions.
Right.
And always never consent to any abductions, guys, because the positive extraterrestrials never abduct. They never abduct. It's always the negative ones that are trying to abduct, so be careful. You know, make sure you guys are in your power. I do not consent. Don't take me aboard. You know, because they'll listen to you, you know.
What
But you have
if
to be...
what if they take you and you know they're good?
Say that
What
again?
if they take you and you know they're okay? They're good. They're good with you.
If they like you, they love you.
You know, those are rare. And in cases like that, they're taking you because they want to upgrade your genetics. That's all they want to do. It's a good thing. If it's your star family, it's a good thing. All they're doing is they're just tweaking your genetics so that when the solar flash takes place, you can have access to higher levels of abilities. Does that make sense? Go ahead.
You mentioned that you were from the Emerald Order. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and how the dragons are connected to that?
Sure. Well, technically, we are all part of the Emerald Order. It's just you guys don't remember. Okay, so there are two forces in the universe. They are the what we call the dark forces, and those are associated with Lucifer, with the Black Sun, the Order of the Black Sun, Saturn, the dark cult. And then the forces of light are known as the Guardian Alliance. So one of the names that they have adapted throughout the multiverses is two terminologies: the Emerald Order and the Melchizedek Order. So the Melchizedeks and the Emerald Order are names that are associated with the forces of light on every level of reality, on every dimension. So wherever there is a council of light that is overseeing that particular realm or that particular planet, it is because they were stationed there by members of the Emerald Order. So the Emerald Order also are what we see in the DC movie when we see the movie, what's it called, the Green Lantern Corps. That's what the Emerald Order is, because they have, exactly, they station themselves on every level of reality. From the multiverse, they narrow down to the local verse, and they always station themselves at the center. So we could associate them with the governments of the great central suns. So that's where the Emerald Order comes from the center of the universe, from the center of the galaxy. And then in our galaxy, they were first anchored in Sirius, and then Lyra, and then from Lyra, they went over to the Pleiades and Alcyon, and now they're establishing a permanent headquarters on this planet. So this planet is going to be like the new headquarters for the Emerald Order. But every light warrior, every starseed is part of the Emerald Order. They just don't know it. You guys were all there during Atlantean times as High Priest and High Priestess. You guys were all part of that Melchizedek sisterhood, brotherhood of spiritual adepts. You just don't remember. But those memories will soon come to you.
But they're guardians.
Yeah, they're guardians. Yeah. Altogether, the Emerald Order, the Covenant of Seal of Halidor, is directly related to the guardianship of life, to the guardianship of realms. Yeah. You're welcome. Go ahead, ma'am.
In one of the shows that you were featured, I remember you were saying that people that have passed away, like maybe 2 years ago, will meet us at 5D. In my case, my mother passed away 2 years ago. If she left her avatar here, how would she manifest herself in 5D?
Well, if she left her avatar here, that means she probably left her avatar here to directly transfer over to her fifth dimensional avatar. So she's waiting for you. Yeah. The only difference between those that have passed and those that are going to be going through the transformation is that those that go through the transformation are not going to taste death. We're just going to be translated from the third dimensional to the fifth dimension overnight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
What about people who get cremated?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're fifth dimensional.
Ashes.
Well, the fifth dimensional avatar cannot be destroyed because it is made out of crystalline structures as opposed to carbon-based structure. That's it.
But if our souls get recycled, reincarnation, then you go into another avatar. So how would you see that person, your loved one, for instance, like she said, how would you see?
Well, for instance, if she makes the ascension, say the ascension happens in the next few months, the solar flash takes place, and she goes into her fifth dimensional avatar. By virtue of that, she's going to be with her past one, because he or she is already there in their own fifth dimensional avatar.
Now, me and my wife work for a non-profit organization down in Mexico, and they're coming up with new information from an ancient civilization which were called Toltecas. They were set on North America, Central America, and South America, which North America used to be called Anahuac, which is water surrounded, earth surrounded by water. These studies are coming out now, which is basically information based on the way they were living 5,000-6,000 years ago. They're from the plates. So all this information mixed together is going to be basically affecting in a positive way the North, because we're going to be affected by that information. What do you think about that?
I think that's possible. I think, everything's connected. The indigenous, the elders of the different Indian tribes, they all knew all this stuff. They actually had access to this information before the Western culture did. So, I mean, a lot of the natives talked about their extraterrestrial heritage. They talked about their ancestors coming from the stars, right?
Did you say that this shift that we're going into is going to create another harmonic universe? Which I believe you said.
No, the harmonic universes are already in existence. They're just operating on different realities, but they're still all around us. So don't expect it to be a location that we're attaining. It's already here. It's just a matter of changing vibrations. So we could say that currently, even though we are in harmonic universe number 1, which is the dances, there's also harmonic universe number 2, which is the next level up, right? 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. They're also here. The harmonic universes are all coexisting, all within the same space at the same time. But as you raise your frequency, as you move through your vibrational frequency at higher rates, and that's how you're able to access the higher harmonic universes. Eventually, we're all heading back to 13, 14, 15 dimension where we originated.
Ismael, I don't know if you're familiar with Garavandai. It's an operation of the Virgin, and it appeared to 6 girls, and they were talking exactly what you're saying. It was called the event and the solar flash, and they were saying that happened I think in 61, and they were saying that the priests and cardinals are taking humanity through to hell through their way of doing things, and they said the same thing. It's called Garavandai, the miracle of Garavandai, and the church never approved it because they were damning the cardinals and the church. Back then that was taboo, it was terrible. But they said the same thing. First there's going to be the aviso, which is letting people know, and I think that you're part of that, letting people know what's going to happen to prepare. And then there's going to be a solar flash, and it's going to, open everybody's, remembrance. Everybody's going to know everything instantly. So it's actually the same thing, and it called the aviso and the solar flash of Garavandai.
The aviso means the warning, and the solar flash.
Yes, the warning. Right.
So this is the warning for you guys before the event. But you know what? I've heard of that. I even heard of back in Portugal, the appearance of Fatima. All that stuff is real. I believe it, and the church does cover it up. The church does never.
And they saw the spinning of the sun, but it's not. It wasn't actually a sun. It was probably a disc of beings, other beings, letting us know, look, you better change your ways, and you're saying, you're avisando, you're warning us, get ready and do your, don't say to all these, things that they're telling us to do, and it's not good for us.
Thank you. That's so true. I believe in that.
Are we going to learn the truth about the Antarctica, like the portal?
Antarctica, that's part of the disclosure. Actually, what they have unearthed in Antarctica is going to be what's going to kick off the disclosure. They're going to start with that. They're going to start revealing these advanced ancient technologies. They're going to start showing us the evidence of the giants, anywhere from 9 feet to 24 to 36 feet to 48 feet, uncovered in Antarctica, guys. And this is when they show all that evidence, and it's going to be like one thing after another. I mean, I hope humanity is going to be able to, handle all this.
So you're gonna look short, is what you're saying? No, those are fine me.
Do you talk about the negative blood types in your book? Does that have to do with the Ankian and Leo?
I do mention that, yes. In the later chapters, I talk about the significance of Rh negative blood type as the galactic royal blood on the Earth, yes. And they do come from the Anunnaki, whether they are the good ones or the bad ones. We could say that the people that have been in power for the last 2,000 years, the Cabal families, they come from the negative bloodline of the Draco. Because the Draco also brought their own version of Rh negative, but we see that version through Queen Elizabeth II, the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas. That's how we see that version. Go ahead, Tim.
Hi. About the financial crisis that they are announcing right now, the mass media. I understand that from your perspective, everything is we are approaching the golden age, and everything is going to be changed, and it's going to be good. But at the same time, in the other side, they are announcing that it's this big crash in the market and the financial system and the establishment of the, what is it, the coin, central.
The central banking system?
Yes, correct. So what's going to happen is that?
Well, that's disintegrating. That's collapsing, no matter what, because it's going to be replaced by the quantum financial system, which is operated by a living conscious crystal that is going to be connected through frequency, via frequency, to each and every single person's heart. And depending on your compassion, depending on how heart-centered you are, that's what's going to make you the wealthiest. Yeah. So those that have the most compassion, the most understanding, are going to be at the top now. They're going to be the new Rothschilds, you could say. The new Dalai Lamas. Right? I want to say Dalai Lama. I heard he was connected to the pedophilia stuff. I'm still finding that to believe. But I want to say the new Gandhi.
Yeah.
I don't think Gandhi was ever compromised. That guy was true to the heart, to the end.
So that when is that going to happen? I mean, I'm asking you these questions because recently I moved all my 401k money.
I would take all that stuff away and convert it to gold and silver right away. Yes, everything. Gold and silver.
I put it in cash, like in my 401k, but cash, like the money market, whatever that is safe. Can I do that too?
Everything's going to collapse except XRP and Lobster and what's connected to yes. XLM and XRP, I think those are the only ones that are going to be good. XLM, yes. But everything, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, it's all.
Time frame for the new system to come alive?
I would say, I'm going to give a time frame between now and 2024. That's all I can say. But it could be sooner. It could be this month. It could be in spring. Things are aligning in favor of the age of Aquarius by spring, which is a good thing. So.
Are we still in the age of Aquarius yet?
No, that starts next spring. Right now, we're just finishing the last few months of Pisces.
Okay.
My understanding of money, even if you put in cash, if it's only for a 1K, you won't be able to access it. Is that
not at all?
Right, and so if it's not physical cash,
you suggest having silver in a paper or silver in the real silver material?
Because we're going to get precious metals. That's going to be the new world treasury. It's going to be called, or I'm going to reveal this for the first time. It's going to be called the Bank of Universal Abundance. That's where it's going to be called once this new world sits in. Yes, the Bank of Universal Abundance.
Is the EBS ever going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, the EBS, yes, and the Gesera programs, which were, I guess, initiated by Saint Germain hundreds of years ago, that's all going to kick in as soon as the EBS is announced.
I have a question about the book. When are we going to get the Spanish version?
The Spanish
Chẳng được quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không gần mới em anh nhận màu. Em chỉ cần mơ đâu em bay. Chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá. Cho bên mơ em không mơ ai. Anh một đêm mơ chỉ cần bên em không được cần nhớ. Và chỉ có em không muốn nhớ. Và người ta bên nhau như ngã tớ. Muốn nhớ về say em chỉ có mấy em ở đây. Và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mãi mãi. Tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu. Không em như nằm hâm mộ. Anh như đứa mong cầu. Và vui bên em hút sầu. Chào các bạn mai em mơ. Chỉ có bên em nhưng đừng có mơ. Em vẫn đang dài. Em muốn bên show. Oh my.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts.